When I arrived to the school, I noticed he was wearing a bright shirt, so his whole elbow was blood. And he's sitting and he was just like, the look in his face, it was just, I will never get that look out of my face.
A local family forever changed after a mom says her 9-year-old son was abused at Fargo Public Schools' pilot program at Agassiz. Now she's speaking out in the hopes of protecting other children.
She opened up to Valley News Team's education reporter, Veronica Marshall, about what happened to her son and why the entire community should get involved. Veronica?
This video left Victoria Johnson speechless, and it's something a mother would hope to never see. But now she's using her voice to call for change so other children don't suffer the way her son did.
When I first saw that video, I cried. They violated my son's right. They know that. And I know that.
Victoria Johnson was initially excited when her 9-year-old son with special needs was chosen to attend Fargo School's Setting D pilot program at Agassiz. She says she was promised special programs and supports, but that's not what she got.
He's been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. He gets up in the middle of the night sweating and crying, and he's still in his head. They're there.
Johnson's son's anxiety skyrocketed after he was forced into a room at school and pinned to the ground by a Fargo police officer and the school principal.
You have somebody laying on top of him. When he's laying there, what if he stopped breathing and he died? I wouldn't have gotten a phone call from him. I would have got a call from the school saying your son is dead. That was the biggest thing that hit me, that I would have never hear his voice again.
Advocates say the hold is dangerous, illegal, and proof that Fargo Schools isn't following its own policies. The district's policy states physical restraint should only be used to protect people from imminent danger, and children should never be held while lying on the ground.
I think, unfortunately, too often people have different definitions of what imminent risk really means and really looks like.
They did a floor restraint. It was an extended restraint, and they're not keeping the documentation of the reports and the log they're supposed to keep.
Advocates say this problem is bigger than Agassiz.
Children aren't just being restrained in Level D. Children are being restrained in schools throughout Fargo School District. So this isn't a problem that was exclusive to the Level D at Agassiz. This is a problem in the school district.
I've also done intakes on children who have witnessed their classmates being restrained and hauled out of a classroom, or have seen their classmates handcuffed and taken out of a school, sometimes not to return. And for any child, that can be really terrifying.
Fargo School Board ended the pilot program at Agassiz after criticism from parents and community members. But during its summer work session, members will discuss creating a Setting D only facility at Agassiz in the future, which is something Johnson says can't be allowed to happen.
And I hope that the community and the people can look at this and say, we need change. We need new policy. We need to hold individual accountable. We need to hold the school district accountable. We need to make sure that they have to do the right thing. Because I don't want another child to die.
We reached out to Fargo Public Schools about this story, but they declined an interview. Now, this video is just one example of what happened to Johnson's son at Agassiz. She said he was restrained about a dozen times and that she was only able to get this video after the district took her son to court. Ultimately, the state's attorney refused to prosecute the 9-year-old based on his age and disability. Now, Johnson is considering a complaint of her own against the school. Andrea?
All right, thank you, Veronica. We also asked the Fargo Police Department for a comment on the video. They tell us there isn't much they can say in regard to what happened because it involves a child, but did say the video doesn't show the entire picture.
I think it's very important for everybody to understand that there was a lot that happened outside of the view of the cameras prior to the officers entering the room with the juvenile.
Fargo Police also say the incident was reviewed by the chain of command, including the chief, and they did not find any wrongdoing by the officers.